Binti NAJMUDDIN, and right now I will be presenting about the introduction of real estate investment trust.
A real estate investment trust is a company that owns, operates, or finances income-generating real estate. There is also a Sharia version of conventional REITs called as Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust (i-REiTs). Income from the i-REiTs must be Sharia permissible activities. REITs generates a steady income stream for the investor. Both REITs receive a similar tax treatment on stamp duty, real property gains tax, and corporate tax. Regular framework are similar for both REITs. However, i-REITs must follow the Sharia requirement. Non-permissible activities must follow 20% benchmark. Those activities are financial services based on interest, gambling or gaming, manufacture or sales of non-halal product or related conventional insurance, entertainment activities that are non-permissible according to the Sharia, manufacture or sales of tobacco-based product, stockbroking or share trading in Sharia non-compliant securities, and hotel and resorts. The first Islamic REIT, Al-Aqah KPJ REIT, was launched on 2006. There was invested in 6 hospital property with a market value of $138 million. On 2007, second i-REIT was launched by Al-Hadara Boosted REIT. This portfolio involves plantation property with initial investment value at $138 million. The third i-REIT was launched on December 2008. It was the first Islamic industrial or office property was the Malaysia based AZZA REIT. On May 2013, KSCC REIT with a market capitalization of 10.6 billion ringgit as at end of the November 2013. On 2010, first Singapore REIT is Sabana REIT and listed on the Singapore Exchange Securities Limited. Their portfolio was consisted of 22 properties, value of Singapore dollar 1.22 billion. This makes them the world's largest Islamic REIT. The first type of REIT is equity REIT. This REIT is one of the common investment types. They will purchase, handle, develop, renovate, and sell their property. Investors will gain their revenue through the property's rental income. The second type is the mortgage REIT. The investor will deal in investment and ownership of property mortgage. Interest earned by the mortgage loan are the one that will generate investor revenue. They lend their money to the owner of the real estate or purchase the existing mortgage or mortgage-backed security. The last type of i-REITs is hybrid REITs. This type of investment is where the investor invests in both property and mortgage with combination of investment strategies, equity REITs and mortgage REITs. Sharia-based REITs is where the asset used in the Islamic products. It was designed to be the Sharia instrument. So, this Sharia-based REIT should fulfill the Sharia principle of capital market and be listed at all the times in Sharia compliance securities list. Sharia compliant REIT is where the asset was used to be utilized to reach the same effects as the conventional product.
The Sharia compliant REIT must not be breached to the Sharia principle in capital market even though it was designed as a conventional investment product.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm IZZA MARDIANA binti ABDULLAH and I'm going to present about the features of the Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust or i-REiTs and the comparison between the conventional REIT and Islamic REITs. So, first I'm going to explain about the features of the Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust or also known as i-REiTs. i-REiTs is the Sharia version of the conventional real estate investment trust, which to enhance the Islamic capital market. i-REiTs are required to have Sharia compliant property as it part of innovative products from the Islamic capital market. Apart from that, i-REiTs also appointed a Syariah Committee, or also known as Syariah Advisor. Syariah Advisor is essential for Islamic REiTs to monitor the activities of Islamic REiTs and make sure the activities is on par with the Syariah law. Syariah Advisor also function to advise the fund manager on Syariah compliancy matters. Next, the income of i-REiTs, where the income must from the Syariah permissible activities, and i-REiTs must own a property that all tenants operate the permissible business. The business must be legal according to the Syariah law. However, the income for non-permissible activities is not exceed 20%, and the non-permissible tenants can only occupy 20% of the whole area.
Next, I will explain about the Syariah principle used in the instrument.
Syariah scholar allow for multi-properties to have non-compliant Syariah as long as those activities are below the benchmark by the Syariah Advisory Council of Security Commission. This income that are formed from the activities must be taken out and to be donated to the charity. Ijtihad of Syariah scholar in determining the acceptable technique to calculate threshold ratio. Different method and approach are required to calculate different assets. According to the Syariah Compliant Mutual Fund in Fatwa DSN MUI 2021, i-REiTs has to follow the regulation and principle of Syariah law. The form of akad must be between the investment manager and capital provider. Secondly, akad must be between the investment manager as the agent and the investee, the commercial property manager. Mudarabah akad is chosen as the akad between the investment managers as wakil capital provider. This is because sharing profit between the parties are according to the agreed proportion, and the fixed return to the investor will be not guaranteed. Secondly is ijarah akad can be also used where the rental payment received between the investor and property manager, who the one use the property through the investment manager.
Next, I'm going to explain about the comparison between the conventional real estate investment trust and Islamic real estate investment trust, or i-REiTs. Basically, there are four comparisons between the conventional REIT and Islamic REIT. The first one is Syariah Committee or Syariah Advisors. For the conventional REIT, they are not using any Syariah Committee and Advisors in their system, while in Islamic REITs, it must appoint a Syariah Committee or Advisors as it to ensure the system is compliant with the Syariah requirements. The second comparison is about the permissibility of activities carried out by the tenant. For the conventional, there are no restrictions for the tenant to carry out any activities, while in Islamic REIT, only the permissible activities are allowed to be carried out. The third comparison between the conventional REIT and Islamic REITs are insurance for the properties. Whereas the conventional insurance must compliance with the insurance companies as this is approved by the trustee. Trustee is the party that acts on behalf of unit holder that are trusted to make any decision regarding the progress and development of real estate investment trust. And for the Islamic REITs, the manager need to consider the availability of the insurance, or in Islamic term it known as takaful, before opting for the conventional insurance. Lastly is about the financing. In conventional REIT, there is no restrictions of financing, while in Islamic REITs, the financing must be followed Sharia compliant.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Syafirah binti Azni. Next, I want to explain about the structure of i-REiTs. A Shariah board or Shariah counselor must also be named to advise the manager on Shariah compliance matter. Although in the terms of tax treatment in Malaysia, REITs and i-REiTs enjoy equal tax status as regards stamp duty, real estate income tax and corporate tax. For both, the governing framework is similar, excluding that the Shariah requirement required be met by i-REiTs. In i-REiTs, there are several parties that involved in the structure of the i-REiTs. Investor invest in i-REiTs through holding of units, and the investor will get return when the maturity time. Next, i-REiTs require real property as the asset of the i-REiT structure. Besides that, the i-REiTs manager set or execute the way of the i-REiTs based on the investment strategy. For example, it is in charge for gaining and divestment of the i-REiTs property. In other words, i-REiTs manager charge a management fee that involve the base fee and performance fee. As an exchange, the i-REiTs manager will provide management service. An i-REiTs manager naturally appoint the property manager to manage the real property of the i-REiTs. The property manager duty includes rental out of the property of the i-REiTs to accomplish the best rental income, to track marketing plan, to attract potential customer, and to keep up the property of the i-REiTs. Therefore, in return, the property manager will be paid off the maintenance and management fee out of the asset of the i-REiTs. In some cases, however, there is a sponsor who provide the property that are injected into the i-REiTs initial portfolio and can continue to provide the i-REiTs with a supply of asset. Plus, the sponsor typically holding share in the i-REiTs manager and the i-REiTs as well. The structure of i-REiTs also involve the trustee. Trustee is act as the trust deed. The trustee is required and responsible of the asset of the i-REiTs on behalf of the unit hold. Other than that, the duty of trustee are to ensure the compliance with appropriate law and protect the right of the unit holder. Therefore, as the return, the trustee will be paid for trustee's fee for providing service. Shariah Committee or known as Shariah Advisory also play an important role in structure of i-REiTs. The responsibility of Shariah Advisory is they will advise on matter regarding to the Shariah. The i-REiTs manager will need the service from the Shariah Advisory before making this decision of the i-REiTs matter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FAHIMAH binti Azni, and today I would like to explain about case study, and I choose Al-Akar KPJ Real Estate Investment Trust as our product in this case study. Firstly, it's about business summary. Okay, Al-Akar Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust was listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad on 10 August 2006. Marking the momentous 10th anniversary on August 2016, Al-Akar has accomplished various achievements such as the world's first listed Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust, Asia's first Islamic Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust, and a benchmark for the development of Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust in Malaysia as well as in the region. Established with an initial portfolio of 6 properties, Al-Akar has grown its portfolio to 23 properties composing 70 hospitals, 3 wellness or health centers, 2 colleges, and 1 aged care and retirement village. Other than that, Al-Akar is also managed by Damansara Real Estate Investment Trust Manager Sudan Berhad, a wholly owned subsidiary of Johor Corporation and supported by KPJ Healthcare Berhad. Next is the concept of features of the product. So firstly is the tenants of the properties are operating as specialist hospital in the healthcare sector, which are permissible activities according to Sharia. Other than that, the rental income of the Al-Akar Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust are derived from Sharia permissible activities. such as currently from the operation of specialist hospital ensuring guided by the 20% benchmark as determined by the Security Commission of Malaysia for the criteria on rental from non-permissible activities. On the other hand, the Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust will not own real estate in which all the tenants operate non-permissible activities. The current tenants are all operators of the respective specialist hospital. On the other hand, the fund managers of Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust must not accept a new tenant whose activity is fully non-permissible under Sharia. In the case of tenants operating in mixed activities, methods of calculating the portion of rental derived from non-permissible activities from the total rental must comply with the guidelines from Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust. The Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust will ensure all forms of investment, deposits and financing instruments comply with Sharia principles. Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust will be raising an Islamic financing facility to finance the acquisition of the properties. Other than that, the manager will obtain and maintain takaful scheme insurance coverage on the assets of Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust against fire and public liability, which are statutory insurance requirements as well as loss of rent insurance and other required insurance if applicable. Only if the takaful schemes are unable to provide the insurance coverage, then the Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust is permitted to use conventional insurance schemes. Generous compliance, where relevant, on any other requirement as stipulated under the guidelines for Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust, and the Sharia Committee members of the Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust has endorsed and approved the Al-Aqra Healthcare Real Estate Investment Trust scheme to be in compliance with Sharia principles. As a conclusion, Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust is a collective investment scheme in real estate that combines the best features of real estate and trust fund that comply with the Sharia compliance. And it is better than conventional as it follows the Sharia principle that is more justice than conventional principles. And one of the products of Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust is Al-Aqra, the first Islamic healthcare real estate investment trust in Asia. And it is hoped that more products of Islamic Real Estate Investment Trust will be launched for the future development of the religion of Islam. As a conclusion, Islam